Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Kacy. Today we are going to make a springtime recipe called Asparagus Ham Quiche. So here in Kentucky, springtime is when asparagus is growing and can be freshly harvested. You can hopefully pick some up at your local farmers markets or grocery stores that is ready to go for you. So this yummy quiche recipe actually makes two quiches with a very few simple ingredients. We've got some ham, onion, some asparagus, of course, some eggs. Secret ingredient is some plain Greek yogurt. That's a substitute out instead of using like sour cream or something in this recipe. We've got our spices. We've got some nutmeg, which is also another special ingredient. And then, of course, just some salt and pepper and some milk. Let's get started. The very first thing that we need to do with this recipe is get our asparagus steamed. And I have already done this. So you can use a steamer pot on the stove or however you have it. I actually just put some water in a microwave safe bowl, trimmed and cut my asparagus. So you want to just cut it into about an inch size piece. And then put the asparagus in the water, popped it in the microwave and cooked it for about 6 minutes on high, and that makes it pretty soft. And then just drained it and it's ready to go for us. So you steam your asparagus however you would like to steam it, okay? So our next step is we are going to actually saute our ham. So I have a cup of diced ham and I have a small onion that has been diced. So we are going to go saute these in a skillet and cook them just until they are brown. All right, so I've got my skillet here on the stove and I've turned my burner on. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my onion and add my ham. The nice thing about this is because the ham has some water content to it and a little fat to it, you don't need to add any oil or anything to this. And make sure I get all that good onion out of there. The onion's also going to create a little water in there. But we're just basically cooking this just until it gets brown. So we're just going to let this go for a few minutes. All right, so our ham and our onions are browned in our skillet now. So now we're going to go back and put our quiche together. All right, so our asparagus is cooked. Our ham and our onion mixture is cooked. I have my eggs separated here, so I have one egg white in a bowl that I'm just going to beat real quick. And then we're just going to use this as a wash for our pie crust. Now it doesn't say to do this, but I always do this when I have pie crust. I'm just going to take my fork and just do a few little pricks in the bottom just to help the air circulate in the bottom of there. Okay, so now I've got my egg white and I'm just going to take a pastry brush and I'm just going to lightly brush all over my pie crust. Now these are just frozen pie crust. I mean, if you want to make your own, feel free, but frozen works really well and they taste really well, really good. They're yummy, okay? So don't feel bad about using a frozen pie crust for this.
This is supposed to be a simple recipe, right?
This is easy. And frozen pie crusts, honestly, are so inexpensive. And if you've ever made your own pie crust, they can be very time consuming. And so it's okay just to use the frozen ones for this. Okay, so that's that. So now in my bowl, not yet, I'm going to first sprinkle the ham and onion mixture in pie crust. And I'm just going to try to divide it as evenly as I can in here. A little bit left for the other one. If you don't get it perfectly even, that's okay. If you want to get out a measuring cup and measure it so it's completely even, that's fine too. But, okay, so I'm just gonna make sure, spread that around, kind of get the bottom covered. This smells so good.
I was getting ready to say that. Anytime you cook with onion, it smells so good, doesn't
It always
it?
smells so good. Okay, so we've got that part done. So next, I'm going to sprinkle a cup of cheese over each mixture here. So I'm just gonna eyeball this. So a cup is about a handful. So I'm just gonna spread that over. All right. That's done. So now in my bowl, I'm gonna beat together my eggs. So I have 4 eggs. I have my container of Greek yogurt. This is just plain Greek yogurt. And then I'm gonna put in my seasoning. So I've got my 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, salt, and pepper in there. And I need my milk. So I have 1/3 of a cup of milk. So I'm gonna put that in there. Do you know what I just realized I didn't do? The asparagus in the pie crust. So it is supposed to go in before the cheese goes on top, but it'll all be fine. So we're just gonna spread half of it in one. And that asparagus looks so pretty and green. If you are having some people over maybe for Derby or for your family for Derby, this would be a great item to serve. Or anytime really. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime. Brunch. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab my whisk and I'm just gonna beat these things together. And then they are gonna get poured on top of our mixtures here. Make sure we beat these really good because we want to get that yogurt incorporated into our eggs. All right. Go, swap out. So half in one.
That looks good.
Half in the other. More. So it kind of makes a creamier mixture because of the yogurt. And I'm just going to give them a little shimmy shake. Make sure we get that kind of moved around so it just doesn't all kind of settle in one spot. All right, so these are going to go into a preheated 400-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And then once they come out, we're going to need to let them set and cool for about 20 minutes. All right, we'll see you back with the final result.